Welcome to the How To Studio. This is the Microsoft Word and Excel tutorial for beginners. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. In the first part of the video, I will show you everything you need to know to use Microsoft Word. So let's get started. I'm going to do a text on the history of koalas. Let's say this is my project. Let's say it's a history project. Right? So if I'm gonna do this, it needs to be bigger. It's too small. Maybe I want it to be a different font style. So I can change my font style if I want to. I can just click this arrow and I can choose. You can see the different styles, how they look. And as you can see, as I'm scrolling down, you can see my text is changing the different styles. For example, this style. You can see how it changes. But my text is to the side. What if I want to make it in the middle? So you, in the paragraph section, you click center. If you want it to be right, then you click the right align. So this is how you adjust your text. So if I want my text to be in the center, I just click that, but it's still too small. So what you do is you can put in the font size here and click enter, or you can actually change the font size of your text by keep clicking on this option. Or if you want to reduce it, you can just keep clicking this option. Okay, now my text looks much better. And what if I want an image of a koala bear? What if I want to put an image in here? Okay, so let's go to Google. Now I have the history of a koala bear. I'm gonna get my text from here, but now I want my image. So you go to images. I think I'm gonna choose, this one is cute. So I'm gonna choose this one. So what you can do, you can click on it and you can right click on your mouse. And then you can click copy image. And then you wanna go back and you want to insert your image, so you're gonna right click and you're gonna click on the paste option. So there is my koala. I just inserted it, but as you can see, it's too big. Now it's on the second page. I have 3 pages, so I have a blank page here. If I want to remove this blank page, all you have to do is click on the beginning of the blank page here, then on your keyboard press the backspace button multiple times. Let's do that again. And there you go. That one took a little bit, but you just have to keep repeating doing that to remove your blank space. So now, instead of having 3 pages, I have 2 pages, but I want my koala bear to be on the first page. It's on the second page. And it's on the second page, guess why? Because it's too big. It's too big to fit, so it is on the second page. What I can do is I can make this smaller. I'm gonna make it smaller by going to any corners of this koala bear, and I'm going to drag it down so that it gets smaller. There you go. So as you can see, it's smaller, and now it's on my first page because I reduced the size of it. And I can reduce the size some more by dragging this up a bit, and then I can put it to the side a bit so that my koala bear is proportional, and now it's on only 1 page. And if I want to remove this page again, I just keep clicking the backspace key, and then now I only have 1 page. So this is my first page with my koala bear, and if this is too much space, then I just click my backspace button to reduce the space. There. Now my text there is in black. What if I want another color, like blue or purple or pink? So all you have to do is just highlight the text, and you're going to click on this arrow right here, right beside the A. Click on the arrow, and now you see the different colors. So as you can see, I can change my color to any color that I want. Okay, let me go back because I want to show you what else I can do with this. So let's say I want a different style. I want it to look different. I want it to be unique. see, for example, there I can use this word art option. All I have to do is highlight first, and then I can change how my title looks. If you want it to be different and unique, not just a normal text, you want it to stand out, you can do that. But let's say now I want to add some text. I'm going to copy my text, so I just highlight it, and then I'm going to right click and then copy. Or on your keyboard you can press Ctrl and C to copy it, and then I'm gonna paste this text in my project, but I'm not gonna put it on the front page. I'm gonna put it down to the second page, so I just keep pressing my enter button on my keyboard, and then I paste it in. And then you can go in and you can remove text by highlighting and clicking backspace key, or you can add new text as needed. Let's say you wanted to replace all the word that says koala and you want to put the word bear instead. So let me show you how to do that. You're going to click on replace and you're going to search for koala. Find what? You put koala hair and you want to replace it with bear. So you type the word bear and you can click find next and replace. As you can see, it changed it to bear. Here I'm going to change this one to bear. So that's an example how you can easily change out words that you don't want it to be in your content. So that's a tool that you can use. Or if you, let's say you have a big document that's long and you want to see where all the words koala are, you can use this find option. And you can search for koala and you can see everywhere in the document where koala is. Okay, so that's another useful function for you. Let's say I have some fun facts about koala that I want to list them as bullet points or as numbers. So I would just put my cursor where I want to list the bullet point or numbers, and I'll press this numbers so that I can put my facts. Koala means no drink. Koalas don't live in social groups. And as you can see, as I type, I click enter and then it goes to the next number. Or if I don't want it to be numbers and I want it to be bullet points instead, I highlight it and then I click the bullet point option here, and I can remove this number. And if I click enter, if I put my cursor right at the end and I click enter, it gives me another bullet point. And then if I press enter again, it gives me another bullet point. And I can choose the type of bullet point I want. Maybe I want it to look more like check boxes, or maybe I want it to look like this diamond type of icon. I can change it to anything that I want. Maybe I want to get a new bullet point, and I can click on symbol. And I want to have something like a flower. I can do that, and then I can click OK, and then I click OK, and now I have new bullet points. So you can create basically any type of bullet points that you want, or maybe it can be something like ABC 1 2 3. You have options there to choose how you want your bullet point or numbering to be. And let's say I think that the spacing between each of my bullet points are too close and I want it to be a wider spacing. I just highlight it and then I click on this line and paragraph spacing option. I click the arrow and then I can increase my spacing. As you can see, there's more spacing. So you can do this spacing for any part of your document. All you have to do is highlight and then you click this option to increase or reduce your spacing. Here's something else that you might find useful. Let's say you have your title here, your heading title, and you want to add some type of underline on it just to spruce up your content and make it look good, or just to highlight that this is actually a heading. So what you want to do, you want to highlight your text, and then you have this option to add a line underneath it. So all you have to do, click this arrow, then click on border, bottom border, and then here is where you have the option to change the styling of the bottom border. Right now it looks like this because I styled it that way, and I'm going to show you how you can style your bottom border. So the default styling is this one. Let me show you. And you click on here, you can see it's just a single line. But if you want to change the styling to something else, just go to border and shading, and then you can choose from several options in here. It can be 3 lines instead, and you can tell how thick you want the lines to be, and then you click OK, and then you press on it. As you can see, it looks like 3 lines there. And if you want to go back in and you want to change it to something else, you can change it to something else. You can just scroll down, take a look at the different designs, and you can even change the color. What if you want it to be green? And you can change how thick you want it to be. What if you want it to be super thick? And then you click on it, and you can see how you can change the different borders. So you can make your document more creative, make it stand out, and make it unique, and so that it is easily legible. So you can do this option if you want to take your titles from these bland looking titles to something that's more stand out and makes your content pops and easy to read. In your insert tab, you can insert tables, pictures, and other things. You can insert page numbers, you can insert header, footer, and we already saw we can insert different word art. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can insert a table. So to insert a table, just click on insert table, and which I like to use is you just hover over this and you can choose the number of rows and columns that you want. So I'm going to go with 3 rows and 3 columns. And let's say I have name, email, phone. Okay, so I have 3 columns here, but let's say I wanted to add in a column for maybe address. So what you want to do is in this last column, you're going to right click, and then you're going to put insert, and you're going to put insert column to the right. So that way I can add my address here, and you can put in your detail for each of these items here. But let's say I have like maybe 10 addresses to add. So what you want to do is on your keyboard, you're going to click on the tab function, and then go to the end of the row here and click tab, go to the end and click tab, and that's how you keep adding new rows. Or you can right click and then you can click insert, and then you can put a row above or below. So I'm going to put a row below, and you can do it again, insert or put a row above. Let's say I wanted a row above this one, so I'm going to go insert and row above. I want it to be green, or I prefer this green, and then you can do the shadings as needed. If you want to delete your table, then you just highlight the entire table and then you right click, and then there's the option to delete your table. Now let's go to inserting a picture. So you just click on this option here, and then you can click on this device, and then you can actually choose a picture from your computer to add to your document. Okay, so you just choose where your image is located, and then you select your image, and then you click insert. And here's your image, and of course you can adjust your image by dragging it to make it bigger or smaller and make an adjustment to your image. You can also edit your image in Microsoft Word by changing the saturation, changing the tone. Okay, so one thing that is really important when you're working on Microsoft Word is you need to save your work. This little disc, it is to save your work, or on your keyboard you can press Ctrl and S to save your work. If you have never saved your work before and this is the first time that you're saving your work, when you click on the save button, it will show you the option of where you want to save your work. So you're going to choose where to save your work. For example, maybe you want to change it, you want to save it on your desktop, or you want to save it in your documents. I'm just going to save mine in my documents, and I'm going to save it as the history of koalas. You can change it to anything you want, and then you go ahead and click on save. Now, as you can see, the title of your document is now the history of koala project. And if you make any changes to your document, any text change at all, you want to always make sure to click this little save icon so that it will save your work. Now let's say we want to number our pages. So to number your pages, make sure you're in the insert tab, and then in the header and footer section you're going to click on page number, and then you're going to put where you want your page number to be, whether it's the top of the page, bottom of the page. I'm going to choose mine to be the bottom of my page, and I'm going to let it be in the bottom right. So once you click that, you can see your page number being added to your page. So if you just double click here, you can see that your page number is added to each of your page. So you see page 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you want to start your page number starting for a specific page, I have a video specifically for that. You should see the video popping up on your screen right now. So if you don't want the page number to be on your first page, which is your cover page, you can start your page number from this page. So instead of this being 2, it would be 1. So you can watch that video to see exactly how to do it. Let's say you want to add a header on all of the pages and a footer on all of the pages. This is where you do it. Go to insert, and here's where you can add your header. So you just click on it, and you can choose the styling of how you want your header to be, whether it's 3 column, 1 column, or you want it to be a styling like this one, or styling like that one. I'm going to choose the first one. So here you can type whatever text you want to type here. So I'm going to type the history of koalas. Okay, so I've typed that for my header, and as you can see, it is on the header of each page. And to make it remove these headers so I can get back into texting normally, I just double click on the page, and as you can see, the history of the koalas is on each and every one of my page. So there is an option if you want it to be different for your first page. So there's this option here if you want your header to be different on the first page. So if you click that option, you'll see that it's not on your first page, but it's on your other 2 pages, the rest of your pages. Now, if I want my first page not to have any other header, I just click this option. Or if I want to make it just something different from the rest of the pages, then I click this option and it will be different from the rest of the pages. So you have the option there. Okay, so and you can also format your headers. You can make it center align, you can align it differently as you need to. And let's do it for the footer as well. So just go to footer, and I'm just going to choose this option, and it's the same option. You can toggle it if you want it to be different on the first page. So that's how you can add your header and footer on your pages. Now I'm going to show you how you can add a link inside your document. So let's say that you want to link this link to the koalas.com website. So what you need to do is to highlight this text, and then you can right click, and then there's an option here to link, and you just click on link. And then you can put in your link right here. And then you go ahead and click OK. Now for the design tabs, we have some options for our titles. So we can choose any of these options to make our titles look more professional or more formatted. So for example, I'm going to click on this one. So as you can see, it automatically changed my title and it looked for all of the titles. I'm going to just remove this keyboard here. I'm going to remove here, and you can see it formatted all my titles and it kept the numbering consistent. So you can just scroll through and choose any of these titles that you want for your project. And then here you can add a watermark if you want. For example, if you click on the option there, you have watermarks such as confidential, do not copy, draft, sample, ASAP, urgent. So you can choose any of these watermark, or you can also choose a custom watermark, and you can create your own text for your watermark. Let me show you how you can add a cover page. So you want to go to insert, and then you want to click on cover page, and then here you have different options for cover pages. So I'm going to go ahead and click this option. So now you can just go ahead and edit the text as needed. Just add your text in here, and again you can update the fonts and so forth that you need to update for your text. And I'm gonna put my koala picture here instead. So I'm just gonna copy this picture, but on my keyboard I just press on Control and C to copy the picture. And then I'm gonna press Control and V to paste the picture. And my picture is a little bit big here, so I'm just gonna click on it and I'm just gonna drag it from the sides to make it a little bit smaller. So now this is my cover page. Now that I have my cover page and I have my content, maybe I want to add a table of content, and I want to add it right before my content. So I want to add it in a page here, and I want to add it before my cover page as well. So I'm going to use the blank page option to insert a new page. I'm going to show you where that is. So to insert the blank page, I can put my cursor at the bottom of the cover page here. And I'm going to go to insert and click on blank page, and if I scroll down I should see a blank page. So that's how I easily create a blank page without having to click my enter key multiple times. Okay, so now let's go to reference and let's click on table of contents, and then you have a few options of how you can make your table of content look, or you can create a custom table of content, but I'm just going to choose an automatic table of content, and this one is manual. So automatic, it will pull up the data automatically for me so that I don't have to type it in. So I'm just going to choose this automatic table, and as you can see it says content. Maybe I want to write table of contents, and then you can edit as needed. It picked up the title of my heading titles, as well as it automatically added the page numbers. Now as you add more pages, it will automatically be added to your table of content when you add a new title. Now if you have subtitles, you would just need to add your subtitles in. So I have a subtitle here. So your subtitle can be anything from heading 2, heading 3, heading 4 once it's not header 1, because header 1 is the main title. So I'm going to make my subtitle into heading 2, and then I'm going to go back to my table of content here and just click update table and update the entire table. And then as you can see, there's a little indentation with my subtitle. So that's how you differentiate between the main title and the subtitle. As you can see here on my text, you have these red underlines, and these red underlines are Word's way of telling you there's something wrong with this text. It's not a normal word. Maybe the word doesn't even exist, and it's indicating that, hey, something is wrong with this text. So if you right click on your text, you see there's a spelling option, and then it shows you the different possible words that could be used instead, because Word recognizes that this is not a real word, and you can either add it to your dictionary because maybe it's the name of your business or the name of your school, and Word doesn't recognize that name, so it picks it up as an error. So you can add it to your dictionary, or you can select ignore all, or you can choose one of the options that Word suggests. There's also some blue underlines as well, where Word highlights these words to tell that, hey, there's something wrong with this word. Like maybe it's missing a full stop, or maybe it should be a capital G instead of a common G. There's something about this text that you need to take a look at. So you can right click on your text, and you can see it's a grammatical error, and it's saying you might have forgotten a full stop. So you can select this option. This is the suggestion that Word is given. You can accept it by clicking on this, or you can ignore it. This concludes the Microsoft Word portion of this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If it was, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe. Now let's jump into Microsoft Excel. Single Excel file is referred to as a workbook or a spreadsheet. Now, a spreadsheet has at least one sheet. As you can see, we have one sheet here, but if we wanted to, we can add another sheet by clicking this plus button, and here we see sheet 2. But you can always rename this. Just double click on it, and all the text is highlighted. Then you can write the new name for your sheet 2 here. You can go ahead and add more sheets. For example, I want to name this one data 3, and you can add as many sheets as you need to so that you have different sheets. You can also rearrange this sheet, so if you wanted to bring sheet 1 in the middle here, you can just drag it and drop it, or if you want to delete one of the sheets, you can just right click on it and then you click on delete. As you can see, there are multiple boxes on this spreadsheet. Now, each of these boxes are called cells. So this is a single cell, and each cell has an address. So as you can see here, this is the address, G5, and how did we come about that? So G5 comes because we are at column G and row 5. And if you take a look, you see that it's highlighted. The G is highlighted and also the 5 is highlighted. So if I wanted to go to D3, then I would go to column D, row 3. And let's say I wanted to go to L22, I can do that easily with this shortcut. I can just put in L22 here and my cell would just automatically go there. So I'm just going to double click on this and I'm going to type L22 and I'm going to press enter. As you can see, it is column L, row 22. In these cells, you can type text, numbers, or symbols. So for practical example, I'm going to create a book inventory where I have the different types of book, the prices, how many have been sold, how many remaining, and how many profit I've made. So I'm going to start in row 1. So as we mentioned before, these are rows and these are columns. So we have row 1, 2, 3, and we have column A, B, C, and so forth. So I'm going to start from row 1. And in row 1, column A, row 1, I'm going to put my name of book. And in column B, I'm going to put number of books. And I'm going to put the amount of books sold, the amount remaining. And as you can see, when I'm typing, you can see that in column D here, the text expounds and goes over to column E, and it gives the impression that it's sharing space with column E, but it's actually not. If I click on column D, you see that in the formula bar, it tells you the text. But if I click on column E, it doesn't show the text. So that tells you that it's only in column D, although it seems to be taking a piece of column E, but that's not the case. So I'm going to continue, and I'm going to put the price, and I'm going to put the cost and my profit. Okay, so as you can see, some of my texts are cut off, but there's good news. I can actually expand the column so that all of my text show, and I'm going to do that by going up, and I'm going to drag to the right to expand it, and I'm going to do the same for this one as well. Number of books. As you can see, this one is kind of long compared to the others. Like this one is really long. So what I could do, if I don't want it to be long, let's say I want all the columns to have a similar width, what I can do is I can click on this entire column, and then in my home tab I want to go to wrap text. So you're going to click on wrap text. And what that does, it actually pushes the text down into the next line so that we maintain the space, the width. So I don't have a long width for this particular cell. And I'm gonna fix it for this one as well, because this is kind of cutting off. And I can just, and as you can see, as I'm dragging, you see a number at the top and it tells you how much width it is. So if you want the widths to be exactly the same, you can set it to the same for every cell. But right now I'm just ballparking it just so it looks as constant as possible and they don't look like they're differentiating too much. Okay, so you can do that. And the next thing I want to do is I want to center my text, because this looks kind of weird. It's left aligned and it just doesn't look so good. So I'm going to center align it, and I'm going to do it for all of these texts because this is left aligned. I want it to be in the center. So I'm just going to highlight the entire row 1, and then make sure you're in your home tab, and then you're going to click on center. Okay, now it's looking a little bit better. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead to do now, I'm just going to add the names of my book. I'm just going to do generic book names. Book B, book C, book D. So I'm just going to add 2 more here. And book F. Okay. So let's say I have 20 books in stock for all of these. So if I put 20 here, and I'm gonna put 20 again for the next row. After you put in the text, all you have to do is press enter on your keyboard for it to go to the next cell. So I've put 20, and I'm gonna put 20, keep putting 20. But let's say I don't want to just keep pressing 20 all the time. What you can do is you can highlight these 2 20s, and then right at the end where there's this little box, you put your cursor there and you see this plus sign, and you just drag it down to F. And you can see it fills it with the rest of the 20. Now, let's say that for book A, I have sold 10 books, and book B, I've sold 5, sold 3, I sold 18, and I've sold 20, and I've sold 1. Okay, so now for the amount of books remaining, my amount of books remaining would be the amount in stock less the amount sold. So instead of manually calculating this, I can actually use Excel's formula to calculate this. So we're going to use a formula. So to use the formula, the first thing you want to do is press the equal sign on your keyboard, and then for book A, where you have the number of books in stock, so that's column B, row 2, click on it and you see it selects it for you. Then you're going to put the minus sign, and then book A, the amount of books sold, so that's column C, row 2, and you click on it. And so what this is saying, that this cell is going to calculate for you the number of books in stock minus the amount of books sold to give you the amount remaining. And once you've selected these, then you're just going to click on the enter key. And then as you can see, it's 10. 20 minus 10 is 10. And easy for you, what you should do is use you should just drag it and just look for the little dot that is here, hover over it, and you're just going to drag it down, and it's going to automatically populate the rest of figures for you. So now if you look, 20 minus 5 is 15, 20 minus 3 is 17. And if you click on each of these cells, you can see that the formula has applied. So I initially applied the formula to this column D, row 2. And when I used this key to drag it down, it applied the formula for all the other rows. So that made it quick and easier for you. And if you click on any of these cells here, you can see the formula in here. B7 minus C7. So this B7 minus C7. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the prices. So for the prices, I'm going to say this one was $10, this one was $15, this one was $10, $10, $20, and $15. So here you can see in the number section under home, you can see the dollar sign. So I'm just going to highlight all of this, and then I'm just going to click the dollar sign. And now you can see the dollar sign is applied, and you can see it on the prices. But I don't want it to have these 2 decimal places, so I'm just going to click this arrow here, and I'm just going to click on, actually there's a little shortcut here that lets us increase or decrease the decimal spacing, so we're just going to go ahead with that to decrease it. So now I don't have any decimal place in here for my dollar amount. So as you can see, there's a space between my dollar sign and the my actual value of my money, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. So all you have to do is highlight this entire block that needs to be fixed, that has a space in here. Highlight the entire thing, and then here where it says accounting, you're going to click on this arrow, and then you're going to change it to currency. And now you can see it looks more normal, and I'm going to decrease the decimals again so I don't have any decimals there. Okay, so now we have normal pricing. I can always like use the alignment to change the way how it's aligned. So I'm gonna go ahead with my cost now, and my cost is gonna be less than my price, so I'm just gonna go ahead with 5 and press enter, and I'm gonna go with 4 and press enter. So I'm just gonna make sure that this is saying currency, and I'm going to decrease the number of decimals, and then I'm just going to go 6, 8, 9, 7. Okay, so now I'm going to calculate my profit, and my profit is going to be my price minus my cost. So I'm just going to press on my keyboard the equal sign, then I'm going to press on my price, and I'm going to minus it from my cost, and then press enter on the keyboard. Now we have $5 because that's 10 minus 5 is $5, and I'm just going to drag this downward so that this formula can be applied to all of my books. So as you can see, 15 minus 4 is $11, 10 minus 6 is $4, so I can see all of my profits. And again, if I click, you can see that the formula has been applied. So for this case, it's E6 minus F6, so that's E6 minus F6, as you can see. You can use Excel formulas so that you can quickly calculate the results that you need, instead of having to manually calculate everything and grabbing a calculator to calculate it. Now that we have our inventory, what if we want to calculate the total number of books we have in stock, the total amount sold, and the total amount remaining? So I'm going to use Excel formulas again to calculate this. So in column A, row 9, I'm going to put total here, and then I'm going to calculate the total for each of these columns. So I'm going to use a formula. I'm going to use a sum formula, and that is to just enter the equal on your keyboard. All formulas usually start with the equal sign. So you start with your equal sign, and then you type sum, and then you put in the open bracket, and then this is where you're going to select your range of cells that you want to sum up. So for this range, the range is from B2 to B7, and this is a sum that I want to calculate. So now that I've entered my range, I'm going to press enter. Now my sum is 120 for all the books I have in stock. Now I could go ahead and do the formula again, put in the equal sign, sum, open bracket, and then select the range of all of my amounts sold and press enter. I could do that. Or what's easier for me to do is click, because this already has a formula, I can just drag it across to create me the total for my amount sold. And I can go across as well for the amount remaining. Let's do that. So that's way easier than putting in the formula each time, because we already have the formula here. We can just drag it to apply it to the other columns. So now I can see that I have 120 books in stock. I have sold 57, and I have 63 books remaining. So now I have my price, my cost, and profit. So these values actually the price of a single book, and I need to find out the price of all of the books sold overall, the cost of all of the books sold overall, and the profit of all of the books sold overall. So what I want to do now, I want to edit these titles that I have in here. So how I'm going to edit it, if you try to type directly over it, then it's going to erase what you have existingly. So let's use the undo here to undo it. So I have my price. So what you want to do is you want to double click so that you can edit, and this is going to be price per book. And this one as well, you can double click it and put cost per book, or you can also edit it by just clicking it, and then you can type in here. So that's another way how you can edit it. And as you can see, it's cutting off a bit, so I'm just gonna do the wrap text for this, or I can just drag it a little bit so that it doesn't look cut off. So now that I have my price for each book, I want to know the price for the amount of books I sold. So I'm going to insert a column beside this one so that I can add the price of all the books sold. So how you do that, you select the entire column, then you right click and click on insert. It actually inserted the column to the left, and I wanted to insert it to the right. What I can do is I could just cut the text and paste it, or I can just use my shortcut Control X to cut and Control V to paste. Okay, so now I can have my price for all books, or overall price, whichever one. So now I'm going to click here to add a column for cost for all of the books as well, not just the cost per book. So I'm going to click on the column. I'm just going to click on the column here, and then I'm going to, actually I want to click on the column here, and then I'm going to click insert so that it inserts it to the right, and cost for all books. And then here I want overall profit. So now I have a bit more detail to my spreadsheet. I've added some more columns in here because I have some more data that I want to collect. Okay, so the price for the books sold, it will be the price for one book times the amount of books sold. So I'm going to use a formula here. So you put an equal sign, and I want the amount of books sold times the price per book. And then I'm gonna click the enter. So I have 100. I made $100 in all my book A. And then I'm just gonna drag it down to apply the formula to all of these. So now I have my total price for my books that I have sold. So I can just drag this along to get the total there. I don't need the price per book total, or maybe I will keep it. Maybe I'll find use for it so I can keep it. And I'm just gonna put currency here so that I can have the dollar sign. Okay. And then my cost per book, it's my cost for all the books sold is the amount of books sold times the cost of one book. So I'm just gonna put my equal sign, and then I'm gonna select for book A the amount sold, and I'm gonna multiply that by the cost of one book, and I'm gonna press enter. And I'm just gonna drag it down to apply it for all of these. Okay, now my overall profit is my profit that I have for one book times the total amount of books I sold. So that's the equal sign, and it's my amount of books sold times my profit for one book, and I'm gonna press enter. And now I'm gonna drag it down to apply it for all the books. And now if I drag across, I can see my profit, my total for all of these columns here. If I minus the price for all the books sold minus the cost for all the books sold, I'm gonna get the overall profit. So let's try that. Do the price for all the books sold minus the cost for all the books sold, I get my overall profit. So you can see that the Excel formula, it actually works and is able to calculate things accurately. Now let's say I have a bookstore fee and I want to know what is my profit minus the fee. So I'm gonna put here bookstore fee, and I'm gonna put the value of the fee right here, $2. So I'm gonna put here profit less bookstore fee. So to get my profit less bookstore fee, I'm gonna put the equal sign, and I'm gonna add my profit. I'm gonna minus it from the bookstore fee and press enter. So as you can see, $50 minus $2 is $48. Now I'm gonna apply it to the rest of my books. Now, if you take a look, you'll see something strange here. You can see that it's the same value. It hasn't really minus the $2. Why is that? So if you look at the formula here, you see it says J3, which is J3, the $55, minus B13. So B13 is this cell, and it's 0. There's nothing there. And this one is J4, which is this one here, minus B14, which is nothing there. So it's applying the formula downwards. It's not keeping the 2 as a constant. But there's a way to fix this so that Excel knows that I want to apply the formula as a constant. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put a dollar sign in front of the column and in front of the row. And this way, this is a way of telling Excel that I want to keep this row as a constant. Now I'm gonna go ahead and press enter. And then I'm gonna drag it down. Now as you can see, it's now subtracting 2 from each of these. So 55 minus 2 is 53, 12 minus 2 is 10, and if I click on this, you see that it's saying J4 minus B12, which is this value right here. Okay, and I'm just gonna drag across here to see what my total is, less my bookstore fee. So now that I have all my data, I'm gonna format it a little bit so that it looks more presentable. I'm gonna highlight the entire row and I'm going to bold it, or you can press on your keyboard Control and B so that it stands out a little bit more. And then I'm gonna increase the font as well. Or you can just put in the font number here or click here to select your font number, or you can just press this to increase and decrease your font size. So this looks a little bit better. I think I'm gonna center align all of these. And then I'm going to put my totals in bold as well. And then I'm gonna put a yellow highlight behind this row so that I can see my titles better and it's highlighted better, like that. And I'm gonna fix this right here. So now my spreadsheet looks a little bit better. Another thing that I wanted to mention in this Excel tutorial is the setup of Excel. So here in the first row here, we have what we call tabs. So you have different tabs, and inside each tab, you have different groups, and the groups are differentiated by these vertical lines. This entire row is actually called a ribbon, and in the ribbon is different groups. You have your save function here and your undo button that you can use to undo what you've previously done. And this document is not saved unless you save it. So right now the document, your Excel file, is called book 2, but let's say I want to name it book inventory. So I need to save it and rename it. So how you do that is just to click on the save button, and then you're gonna name your file and choose where you want to save it. So for now, I'm just gonna save it in the downloads, but you can choose where you want to save it, and I'm gonna name my file. And then I'm gonna click save. So now you can see that it says it's saving, and this is now book inventory, and it says it's saved to this PC. So each time you do your work, you want to make sure to click this save button to save your work, or you can use the shortcut Control+S on your keyboard to save it. And the first time you have to name it and choose where to save it, but the second time and third time and fourth time around, all you have to do is click the save button. So next thing I want to talk to you about in this Excel tutorial is split cell. So let's go to this sheet here. I have named this sheet split cell, and on this sheet I have some names. I'm gonna put a space right between here, and I want to break them up into first name and last name. So instead of having to manually go in and put the person's first name and last name here, when I already have their full name, I'm gonna let Excel do that for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to highlight this range of the full name, so that is A2 to A6, and then I'm gonna click on data, and then I'm gonna click on text to columns, and then you want to make sure it's delimited selected, and then you want to go to next. And this is how you're going to say how you want the data to be separated. I want it to be separated by space. As you can see in the example here, it separates it into 2 columns there. Then I'm going to click on next, and it's asking me where I want my data to be placed. It is placing it in A2, but I actually want it to be placed in B2, so I'm going to change this from A2 to B2, and then I'm going to click finished. And as you can see, my data is now separated into 2 columns. So that's how you do the split cell in Excel. The next thing I wanted to show you in this Excel tutorial is how to filter and sort. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna highlight all this all these books here, and then I'm going to click on the filter function. Make sure that you're in the data tab, and then you click on filter. And as you can see, there's this little drop down tab here that you can use to sort the different data. So if you want to sort from A to Z or Z to A, you can sort by that. Or if you want to only see book B and book C, or you only want to see book E, you can do that. Okay, so for example, let's say I only want to see book D and E. So that I can compare them. I'm going to click on the select all option, then I'm going to click book D and E, and then I'm going to click OK. Now I can take a look at book D and E, and I can see and compare them. So I'm just going to go back to selecting all of them. And let's say I wanted to see the books that has sold the most. So I'm just going to go to this filter, and I'm just going to sort by largest to smallest. Now I can see which books have sold the most in the order, and as well I can see if I want, I can sort it by the profit too. I can see which book has made the most profit. So now I can see that book E did the best, and book B, then book A, and so forth. So you can use this feature to sort and filter your data so you can analyze your data better. So that's another of the powerful tools in Excel. The next thing I want to show you in this tutorial is how to add a table, is to convert this into a table. So I'm just going to go to the end of my sheet here, and I'm just going to highlight everything for the table, and then I'm going to go to my home tab, and then I'm going to click this arrow that says format as table, and then I'm going to choose one of the designs that are here. I'm going to go ahead with this design. And my table has a heading. Make sure you click that if you already have a heading, and then you click OK. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, this is like a better formatting, so you can easily see and parse the data. So it creates this table for you, and you can actually create another column right here. So for example, if I had maybe profit less management fee, and let's say my management fee is $2 as well. So I'm gonna add my equal sign, and I'm gonna use this final profit that I have instead of this original profit, and then I'm going to minus it from my management fee here, and I'm gonna put the dollar signs there so that it regards it as a constant. And then I'm gonna press my enter button. And now the difference, I don't know if you just saw that, but you saw that if you can see, because I formatted it as a table, I didn't have to drag down. Excel automatically did that for me because it figured out that, hey, if I put the formula in here, then it should apply to all these other rows as well. So that's one of the bonuses of adding a formatting as a table. You can add more columns if you already know your data, and if you put in the formula at the top, it can just automatically calculate the formula for the rest of your rows. The next thing I want to show you in this Excel tutorial is how you can freeze panes. So for example, you can freeze the rows and the columns. For example, when I scroll, I can't see which book is associated with these numbers. So what I can do is I can freeze this column, so when I scroll, I can see which books are associated with the numbers. I'm going to just highlight the column there. and you want to go to view, and then you want to go to freeze panes, and then you want to freeze first column. And as you can see, there's this vertical line that is on the column there. So if I scroll to the right and I scroll, you can see the books are still listed here, so I can see which book is associated with each item here. And it's the same thing if I had like a long spreadsheet and I wanted to scroll down, I wouldn't be able to see the rows here, so I could just also freeze the top row as well. The next thing I want to show you is how to insert charts. So for this, I'm going to go to sheet 5 here. And here I have the names and I have the number of days attended. And here is where I have where I've added the score as well. So I'm going to show you how you can insert a chart. So you want to go to the insert tab, and you want to first of all highlight all of the range here, and then I'm going to click on recommended charts, and then it recommends the charts that you can use. You can either use this chart, or you can use a pie chart, or you can use this chart. So you can choose any of the charts that you want to use, or you can go to all charts and you can see the different types of charts that you can use. But with this feature, it's recommending the best ones for you to use. I'm going to go ahead with the first one, and I'm going to click OK. And it's going to generate the chart for me there. And I'm going to drag it up a little bit. And you can resize the chart as needed. And there's some styles that you can choose. You can adjust the colors as needed, and you can play around with the data that's in here for the chart design. But I think it's fine as is, so I'm gonna leave it as is. And I also want to see this chart as well, and this chart has 2 sets of data on it. So I'm gonna go to insert, and then I'm gonna go to recommend the chart. Okay, this one could work, but I'm going to use a line chart this time, and I'm gonna go ahead with this one, this first one, and then I'm gonna click OK. I'm just gonna click it and drag it to fit it where I need to fit it. And you can make adjustments to change the styles or the designs on your chart, and you can adjust the data if you want to add more data and so forth, so that you can add to your chart as well. This wraps up the end of the tutorial for Excel. I hope this was helpful for you. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Also give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet. I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and thank you so much for watching.